What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Their Story, where today I'm joined by Dennis, who is the host of Average Gaming. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. It's been a pretty nice morning. Got some stuff done around the house, and now I'm preparing for a day of recording.
Hey, good time. Always don't know you. Why don't you tell them what kind of stuff do you do?
So my main content is Pokemon. I do Nuzlocke and fan games mostly, and then of course I'm also doing a live playthrough of some of the games that I missed out on when I took a break from Pokemon.
Fair enough, fair enough. So we're going to start with the hard-hitting question of the title of the series, but what made you get into content creating?
So I've thought about this a few times, and I thought about making my own video on this. So I'll probably end up just stealing this one a little bit.
Hey, go for it.
Um, Back in 2015, I was living with my roommate at the time, Isaac. He's Doc Steele Online, and he was watching Twitch streamers, and I'd never seen Twitch before. And so he was watching two people specifically, one of which was called the French Stallion. He played Rocksmith, and it was $5 to request a song, and he made $1,000 in 1 month from one person. I was absolutely stunned by the amount of money that content creators could potentially make, and so that got me initially interested. And then the other person he watched was this old man. He was got to be in his late 70s. We never actually knew his age. He always just called himself old as dirt.
Hmm.
But his name was Cranky Canuck, and he was this cranky old Canadian man who constantly talked about boobs and stuff like that. But he hosted a morning news show called Power of the Coffee, where it was him, his coffee, and his chat. They'd goof around for a little bit, and then they'd get into some news about gaming and movies and stuff like that. And after a while of Doc talking about him, I started watching him, and that's actually how I got my initial name. So I went in, and I was at the time I was just using my email address, which I picked when I was like 12. It was NYDS41794. It's New York, my name, and then my date of birth. It was terrible. So I went in, I followed him, and he read it out. He's like, "Thanks for the follow, Nads," and I was like, "Oh god, that's not standing. Nope, I can't do that." So I deleted that account and I went and I made a new one with my very first Twitch name, Angry Gaming. And I started watching his show, participated a little bit in the conversations, and then eventually he asked me to join him. He did a late night show called Cranky and Friends, and he asked me to join that as one of the co-hosts. So I hopped in on that and started doing that, and that was a lot of fun. And I decided I wanted to try streaming on my own. So probably about 6 months later, I had my own stream. I played what was I playing at the time? Warframe.
Mhm.
A lot of Warframe. I played that game a ton. And then from there it just on and off. I was working at the time, so I had not too much free time, but I'd stream 3 or 4 days a week for like 3 hours, doing random stuff. And then eventually we all made the switch from Twitch to Beam at the time before it became Mixer, because of issues we had with Twitch and their policies. And then from there, stuff just kept progressing. I streamed over there, and then I ended up taking a break. Uh, 2 years I think went by before I started picking it up again. I moved to Florida with my girlfriend, and COVID hit, and I wasn't working because I just moved to the area, and I didn't want to risk my in-laws. So I started picking up streaming again, and from there I started making YouTube videos and the occasional TikTok, and it's just I realized how much I actually missed content creation. The idea that I'm meeting all these people from all these different places. I've met people from Russia, Estonia, Germany, people in the UK and Canada, people in like the other side of the country that I never would have met before, and I've met some pretty amazing friends along the way.
Yeah, it's always a fun thing. You're putting what you like out there, and you're meeting some awesome people. It's always a fun feeling.
Yep.
So between when you first picked it up of content creating to now, what are some of maybe the high points you think you've hit throughout your time?
Hitting affiliate in the past year was definitely a really high point. Um, I streamed for a long time with little results, 1, 2 viewers, most of the time sitting on 0 and talking to myself. And then when I decided to get back into it, I started with YouTube. I
Mhm.
made my first YouTube video. It was just Paper Mario. There was no overlay. There was no nothing. It was just a capture of the gameplay and me talking. And then I decided to try out a Pokemon game. And I'd been watching some other content creators, and they always had overlays with their Pokemon on them.
Mhm.
So I went to Fiverr and I found Nerdo King, and he made my first Pokemon layout with for Pokemon Reborn. And then from there, I purchased another one for streaming for the Pokemon Sword Wonderlock. And he asked what I was doing with it, and I told him. And from there, he introduced me to Hermes and Rabombi, and eventually all of you guys, came along. And
Mhm.
hitting affiliate was just such a huge milestone for me. It was that moment of maybe I can actually make being a content creator work.
Mhm. You mentioned meeting Nerdo King, and I mean he was such a great guy when I met him. But what's funny too is I know you guys are all Pokemon streamers, but I only met you actually because Hermes was playing Smash Brothers at the time, and I finished a Smash Bros stream, and I was like, oh, he's playing Smash Bros, he's cool. And then I'm like, oh, these guys are Pokemon creators, still cool. I love Pokemon anyway. So it was awesome meeting you guys, and just a great feeling. I know that's the big reason for probably a lot of successes. You meet these new people like Hermes,
Yep.
Rabombi as well, or like anyone else that you think.
Yeah, I think I was right after that. It was must have been like the next day or something after you guys rated him. He did another Smash night, and I participated in that one. And then at the end, we rated you guys,
Hmm.
and that's how I ended up getting meeting you guys. And I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, you came to hang out when I was with my two roommates when they were still helping me out with the stream,
Yep.
and I'm still riding solo, but kept the name anyway. So I still
Yeah.
treat you as a member of the couch.
Yeah. Exactly. We're
Uh,
all dudes. We're all just on the couch.
Pretty much, that's what I tell everybody when they hop on the show. But to kind of flip gears a little bit now, we're talking about the high points. Can you think of really any like low points you might have hit throughout that time?
Well, at the start, obviously, I had a few friends from Cranky's community that would hop in.
Hmm.
Um, but there was a lot of times when, because of my schedule, I would be streaming at the same time as maybe Cranky or some other big person in the community. And so everybody's over there watching them. And so I'd be sitting at, nothing, just playing a game, talking to myself, or, not talking at all because I couldn't think of a topic to discuss
Yeah,
with me. And there's definitely been moments even now after hitting affiliate where, everybody's busy or their computers aren't acting up properly. And, sitting at low viewers can be a tough thing for a lot of people. And especially, after you've hit a milestone like hitting affiliate, it can be a difficult thing. And, definitely coupled with depression, it's hit me hard a few times. But, thankfully I got my girlfriend, she's pretty, supportive of me. Hey, these things take time, you just gotta give it time.
hmm
So it's a difficult thing for a lot of people, and I'm glad to have support from anybody really.
it's always the best. When you go out there, if you ever need anything, you can always reach out to me. If you could always probably reach out to Rabombi or anyone like. And
Yeah,
it's always good to have that support from people, especially people who are close in your life. I know for me, I've had a tough time with some of the streams I've had where it's like, the game I want to play, but not a lot of people want to watch. But she's like, if you're putting your best foot out there, it's the best thing you can, even if no one wants to really watch it with you. And
yeah,
it's honestly the best thing you can do is like you want to do stuff that makes you happy.
yep. That's always a difficult thing with being a content creator is you know the balance of what you think is going to actually do well and help you grow, and what you actually just want to play.
Yeah. So you also recently hit over 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yep,
I remember that we did help you push that through, and I saw you were doing a nice little giveaway for your old PC.
yep.
Uh, but shockingly, I was not expecting to win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you messaged me the other day. I was like, wait a minute, what?
But yeah, I got the idea to just, I wanted to do the giveaway of it, and I was like, what's a good way to do it? Well, while I'm gone, because I wanted to do it over my break. So I was
Mhm.
like, I've heard of Gleam before, and I've used that, and it was just like, okay, yeah, I'll set this up. Why not?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you why did you choose to raffle off your old PC?
Well, it's not the did I say PC? I'm hoping that I didn't set it to PC. CPU.
CPU. All right. So as I say, I'll check what you sent me on Twitter. But what made you wanna
Um,
raffle it off?
well, I mean, it's still a really good part, and I upgraded it. Just like Christmas before, I got the upgraded version, but the part itself is
Okay.
still really good. And there's a lot of content creators, especially in our community, that are great, but always have a lot of computer issues. Like
Yeah.
Araya, for example. She's fantastic, but her computer it lasts for like 5 minutes and then it overheats.
Yeah, I remember she was when you were streaming the other night. She was mentioning that. Yes, you
Yeah.
did write CPU to me, so that's my bad. I said PC, but that piece is gonna be helpful because I have another PC in the other room that's gonna help
Yep.
upgrade that bad boy.
That's
So,
right next to me.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the old one. The box says the 3700, but it's the 2700.
Okay, so that's a nice little
So,
piece right there. That's
yeah, it's pretty good. Freaking expensive. I think it was $400,
that's
something like
still
that.
yeah, that's still a nice hefty nice piece to raffle off for people.
Yep.
Very
But hey,
cool.
it's going to somebody that needs it a lot more than me.
Yeah,
Right. I was just sitting there gathering dust because I don't need it.
might as well move on to the next person. I mean, that's gonna help upgrade. Like I said, another PC that I got in here will help
Yep,
for the future.
exactly. That's something I always think is a good idea. If your part still works, why throw it out?
Yeah,
You
just
know?
give it to the next person. You did a great. I think you did an awesome thing with it, where you are giving. You raffled it off to people that you thought could use it.
Yeah, that sun.
Sun's still getting you.
Oh yeah, right in my face.
So besides the sun, I mean, just kind of keeping on the kind of the low side real quick. What are some like not really anything that was too massively devastating, but like something that like kind of hindered you a little bit when you were kind of growing.
The main thing was focusing too much on the numbers.
Hmm.
A large part of it was I said I started because I saw that one guy making tons of money, and I was just like, man, content creation must be so awesome. These people just want to throw money at you because you're entertaining.
Hmm.
And then you get into that mindset and you focus on the numbers too much. You're like, oh man, nobody's watching my stream. I got like, one viewer. It's not going anywhere. Why did I even start doing this? And I think the best advice you can give to anybody when they first start is don't worry about the numbers. You're doing this, you might be doing it to eventually make a career, but at the start, you should look at it as a hobby
Yeah.
because it's not going to be a career for a long time. Look at all the big names, and most of them been doing stuff for years. I think Markiplier's been on YouTube for like 14 years before he became big.
Yeah, he kind of, it does take that moment of like breaking out. Like you got to find the thing. Like I'm this podcast is definitely more of like a hobby for me because I'm interested in talking to my fellow content creators, my friends, and like I want to hear what they have to say, and that's kind of more of like something I want to do, not really something I'm expecting to go crazy right now. So that's always definitely the best advice to give someone. Um, Speaking of which, now I've noticed that you're really kind of definitely focusing more on the YouTube side of things over Twitch recently. Any reason for why you decided to kind of switch over?
Well, as I said with why I started streaming, I did initially switch off of Twitch because of issues I had with their policies and the way they treated their smaller content creators.
Hmm.
Recently we've seen that even more with the hate raids and stuff like that. Their preference for the hot tub streamers and stuff
Hmm.
like that. The big names getting away with pretty much whatever, but small content creators make a single fault and they're banned for life.
Yeah.
I had a friend, she was a passenger in a car that was heading to PAX, or not even PAX, she was heading to TwitchCon, I think. She was
Hmm.
heading to their event, streaming on their platform. She was the passenger in the car, and they said that was against the terms of service because it was a danger and banned her. They refused to give her an appeal, and it took her 3 months to get her account back, all because she was the passenger in a car streaming. She wasn't a danger. She didn't have cameras set up all over the place. She was holding a smartphone and streaming.
Yeah.
And it was because of that, and my friend Cranky was being bombarded with this one guy that constantly kept putting out he'd make fake accounts as, Cranky's a pedo, Cranky's a dick, stuff like that, and just following and following with all these different accounts that were insulting him. And Twitch's response was always just forward slash ban. Forward slash ban doesn't stop him from making a new account and following. They
Yeah.
refused to do anything about it for so long because he wasn't partner. The affiliate program didn't exist back then. They absolutely refused to do anything. So we left. We left and we went to Beam, where he ended up becoming a partner for Mixer and supported his entire life just from streaming.
Hmm.
And the only reason I ever even came back to Twitch in the first place was because when I decided to come back to streaming, Mixer died.
Yeah,
Mixer did a controversy and bailed.
I get it.
Um, so when the hate rate started up again and all that started happening, I started looking at, is Twitch a platform that I want to stream on? Is it a platform I want to support? You know, they take a large portion of everything. 50% of all subs go to Twitch.
Hmm.
Um, and at the end of the day, I decided it's not really the platform I want to be on. But there's always that part, like I said, I started this initially because I thought it could be a career. And I'm monetized on Twitch. I'm
Hmm.
not monetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a lot more difficult to get monetized on YouTube, hence the slow move over as I build up on YouTube.
Yeah, once you get that kind of community ready and you know that's, a viable source for you to be on, that's definitely probably when it's time to
Yep.
make the jump.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a matter of Twitch is it's not a good platform for people, in my opinion. They don't treat people with a lot of respect. They're more focused on making money for themselves and Amazon.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've I kind of agree with you on that one. They definitely try to kind of finagle you on that one, which is why something I kind of started doing was posting my streams onto YouTube to hopefully also join you in the switch to YouTube so I could probably do
Yeah.
more stuff over there.
And besides that, I find making videos a bit easier than streaming sometimes,
Hmm.
depending on what's going on in the house. Because when I'm recording, I can pause.
Oh yeah,
It's it's
easily.
a it's a lot more difficult to pause a stream, but, "Hey, guys, I gotta go, do laundry or help my elderly in-laws, cook a meal. Yeah, I'll be back in, like, an hour and a half." It's like, you can't do that.
No, that's way
But
too hard to do when you're live.
yeah, but I can pause a recording and then just pop back into it. "Hey, sorry, guys, had to step away for a second," and continue the recording where I left it.
Hmm. Always a good thing. I think we already kind of went over you know, the advice you'd give a content creator if they were just starting. You definitely went over it where you said don't focus on the numbers.
Yep.
So I guess really the big one now. Do you have any future projects coming up that you want to give a shout out? Any big things you got going on?
I don't really have a whole lot of future projects in mind right now. There's been talks with Nerdo about doing a Soul Link on YouTube together.
Hmm.
So we're looking into that. I'm kind of, touching up on things and trying to figure out how a certain randomizer for a newly released Pokemon game works.
Mm.
And of course, then there's the tutorial series that I've been working on as well. Um, and that's a project that I feel a bit more passionately about
Hmm.
because when I started content creating, when I started deciding I wanted to do randomizer nuzlocks and stuff like that, the big problem I had starting was it's really difficult to find any information about how to do that.
Hmm.
A large amount of time when I would go to look for something, it would be, you know, "Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube," and you couldn't understand the person. They're moving really quickly. They're not explaining things. They're not telling you where to find these materials that they're using. And so that's always bugged me, and I think it took a while for me to get doing that because of how difficult it was to get started. So the tutorial series is this is how you do it. This is where you find the stuff. I try and go over it in depth. I explain as much as I can and just, make it so that it's easier for people to get started doing this because content creation is a lot of fun. And if somebody wants to do it, their stopgap shouldn't be, I can't figure out how to make this work.
Yeah. So I did notice you start doing that. I think that's a really good thing to be doing because a lot of people who do want to start doing like randomizers for Pokemon. I know when I tried to do my first one, like I spent maybe 3 weeks trying to figure out how to get it to go. I had to find the
Yeah.
right people. So I think that's definitely a good thing there. Let's say, uh, where can people find you?
Well, mainly they can find me on YouTube, which now that I've hit 100, I have my own custom URL, which is really nice.
Yeah.
It's youtube.com/c/averagegaming017. I'm also on Twitch still, which is just averagegaming017. Technically, I'm on TikTok, but I don't really use it that often.
Hmm.
Um, that's about it. Like I have Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that just for brand cohesion.
Hmm.
You don't want somebody else to go out there and take your name and start posting stuff.
Yeah, and I know you have Twitter as well. Oh,
Yep.
that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
on Twitter, which is Average Gaming 94 because they have a character limit that prevents me from doing the other one. The big thing I wanted to have just Average Gaming. Somebody already has that on Twitter,
And we
and
just
they
have
haven't
blank
used the
average
account
gaming.
in yeah, it's just Average Gaming, and they've had it for 11 years and haven't posted a single thing.
Oh, I was about to look it up. So it's just someone that just has your name.
Yeah, they just have it, and it's just like, ah. Actually, suppose I should mention that too. I mentioned that when I started out and when I finally got into streaming, I streamed under the name Angry Gaming.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of who I was and the brand I was trying to create, you know, was trying to be this guy who's I was always angry, so I thought I could entertain people with my rage. Watch this idiot rage at a game because he sucks,
Hmm.
stuff like that. And then it started to get to me a bit. You put on that persona of I'm angry gaming. I got to play the games all aggressively and angry. Ah! And it's just like I got angrier and angrier every stream. And so when I came back, I decided I don't want to be angry anymore.
You want to be average.
Um, yeah, I want to be average. I wanted to keep the logo that I had at the time, which was a simple red and black AG,
Hmm.
because I didn't know anything about Photoshop or how to create anything like that. So a friend of mine made me that way back on Beam, and so I kept it, and I was just like, all right, what can fit with the AG? You know, aggressive gaming. No, that's the same thing. Stuff like that, and it took me a little bit. And I was just like, I'm not great, I'm not bad, I'm just average.
Fair enough. I mean, I do. I kind of see that point though. Like, there was definitely a few things of like angry out there. Like there was that channel, Angry Joe, or was it there was
Yep.
an old like achievement hunter, Rage Quit. I mean,
Yeah.
there was definitely a part of that, but that definitely has to take a toll on you. Like you're playing games and you're just being mad all the time. That can't be
I
good on
punched
the
a
on
hole
the
through
time.
my desk and put a knife through my keyboard.
Yeah, so I can see where you're
It
probably sick of that one.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I know we talked about kind of big projects, but I should have asked this to Rabami because I'm thinking about it. But have you ever thought about doing like into the podcast sphere of your like as we're doing here?
I thought about starting, like, a D&D podcast,
Hmm.
because I love Dungeons& and Dragons. I started playing it, just before I started streaming, actually, and I did a stream of it on Beam way back, where a friend of mine was hosting a game, and I just streamed it, and that was a lot of fun. It's difficult to interact with the chat doing that, but
Hmm.
it's good to be able to share something like that because Dungeons& and Dragons is phenomenal. It's such a fun time, and the stories you can create and the characters, I don't expect it to be, Critical Role level of success, but it's still a really fun thing, and I'm hoping to be able to bring that more to the community as well.
Gotcha. So you're definitely trying to, I know you're a big Pokemon guy, but you're also trying to, you got to follow your passions when you do this. I don't blame you
Yeah,
for wanting to.
I mainly focus on Pokemon because it's a bit easier and it is the community. A ton of people in the community are Pokemon fans.
Hmm.
So those videos do decent, and the few videos that I've tried outside of it are really low, low watch time and bad viewership. So it's just like, okay, I'll just focus on Pokemon for now, build up the community, and then branch out a bit from there.
Which is always a good thing. Like I said, as mentioned before, finding your kind of thing and then being able to do what you want. 'Cause I know I've been wanting to play Super Mario Strikers back on the GameCube, but
Oh
I know
yeah,
that's not going to help me right now, unfortunately. As much as I love that game, but I've been playing other games that I love too. So, but
yeah.
besides that, I think we are wrapping up here. I think we hit the big plot lines there. Anything else you'd like to share while we got you here?
No, not really. There's no other projects or anything. Just general thanks to everybody that's ever supported me. You included. You've always popped into the streams whenever you have time, and it always means a lot to me to have somebody like, "Hey, you're doing great work. Keep it up." I always love coming to watch the content, and you know, small positivity like that really has a big impact on
Mhm.
streamers and content creators.
Oh, I love coming to watch you, man. Especially on Wednesdays when you do your community nights, I get to hop over and we get to hang out a little bit. I think
Yeah,
that's always
community
a cool
nights are
one.
a lot of fun. I'm going to be starting those back up soon.
Yeah, I remember you were streaming at the time of this recording yesterday, and you
Yep.
said you were coming back Wednesday. So maybe we'll have to do another Nintendo night. Maybe we'll get cracking
Yeah, I
on that.
wanna I wanna try and get some, like, Mario Party and stuff like that as well, some of the older Mario parties because those
Hmm.
were so good.
Did you ever get Mario Party Superstars?
I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm planning on doing so because that brings back some of the old boards with the new mechanics,
Yep.
and that's really nice.
If you do that, you know I'll be there. I love that game. I actually have an idea coming up soon for that, so I might be starting on Monday.
Nice. Sounds good. I'll keep my eyes open.
Besides that, for everyone else, all the links to Average Gaming will be in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or anything like that, it'll be in the description box. There, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Nope. I think that's about it. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, was happy to have you. Everyone else, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again when we get the next person for their story. See ya.
Game on.